Hey, how's it going guys? Captain Kuba here, and today it's time to talk about the Blades of Chaos again. Now, don't go just yet. I know I have like 100 videos regarding the Blades of Chaos, but this time, I'm not here to talk about how the Blades of Chaos are back, despite them being lost in God of War 1. I am seriously tired of talking about that topic, and it feels like Santa Monica kinda just wants us to forget about it and roll with the idea that the Blades of Chaos are back. Which is what I'll do until we get confirmation on how the Blades are back in future games of the series. So in today's video, I'll be covering other important topics such as who cursed the Blades to follow Kratos and their importance in the future of the series. Now, before you watch this video, I highly recommend you watch this one first, as you need to be convinced of the information in it for this video to make sense. But if you already watched it, let's begin with the first question. Who cursed the Blades of Chaos to follow Kratos? This is a question many fans were expecting to find an answer in the latest God of War comics. Now, it's one thing for fans to expect something without companies promising it, but it's another thing when the comics themselves tease the answer in the first issue and never bring it up again. This is exactly what happened in God of War Fallen God. Kratos accuses Athena for being the one responsible for the Blades always following him, but we never really get any official confirmation that this is the case. She just reinforces the fact that Kratos needs to embrace his destiny. But what exactly is his destiny? We learned the answer to this question in issue number 4, as Kratos once again finds himself in what I'm calling the higher plane of existence. In here, Athena and Thoth once again remind him to embrace his destiny, and after screaming for a little, Kratos finally embraces his purpose. It's important to note how he didn't have the Blades of Chaos when he got knocked out by the hippopotamus, but when he woke up from his visit to the higher plane of existence, he had them in his hands. The Blades of Chaos follow him because the gods from the higher plane of existence have cursed them to. Or at least, it only seems like a curse to Kratos, because at this point in his life, he doesn't want anything to do with the weapons that he used to kill his family with. Which is understandable, but what this Kratos doesn't know is that, years later, these blades will have a very important purpose: saving his son.
Then I must return home. Dig up a past I swore would stay buried.
So in a way, the gods of the higher plane of existence are making sure things go to plan. But is there more evidence that Athena and Thoth are the ones responsible for making the Blades follow him? Actually, yes. What if I tell you that Cory Barlog has been teasing the involvement of the higher plane of existence gods since 2018 with the God of War novel? In chapter 37 of the novel, Kratos has a flashback to the time in which he left Greece hoping to find peace. And much like the comics, we learn about Kratos who's also trying to rid himself of the Blades of Chaos. At one point, he even threw the Blades of Chaos in the ocean. This resulted in the gods getting angry at him, causing a shipwreck. I always found this reference to the gods weird since no Greek gods cursed the Blades to follow him, and they were all pretty much dead by the end of God of War 3. It also couldn't have been the Norse gods since Kratos had not met them yet. But after reading Fallen God, this reference to the gods finally makes sense. The gods responsible for cursing the Blades, and him not being able to die by the way, are none other than those who have found their way to the higher plane of existence. At this moment, we only know of Thoth and Athena, but it's possible there might be other gods from other mythologies with the task of upholding the destiny of all the pantheons. Cory Barlog himself has confirmed in a tweet that we could visit this realm in future games in the series. You can click on this video if you want to learn more about it. But why are these gods so invested in the Blades of Chaos so much? Why are they so important to the destiny of the pantheons? Well, like I said before, the Blades of Chaos were an integral part in making sure Atreus remained alive. In an interview with IGN, he described the world being out of balance when Loki was about to die. Have a look.
The world is reacting to this imbalance. The world is reacting to Loki being near death, right?
Notice how he doesn't say the Norse pantheon is out of balance, but instead he says the world. So most likely he's referring to all the pantheons. For some reason, the gods of the higher plane of existence need Loki to stay alive, at least for the time being. So they use Kratos and the Blades of Chaos to make sure this happened. But is it possible these gods have other plans for the Blades of Chaos? That I'm not too sure, but it seems to be the case. While Atreus is sick, if you look at the sky on top of Kratos' house, you will see the Eye of the Storm, or a vortex of some kind, and it just so happens that this is exactly where the Blades of Chaos are being kept. It is still unclear what this means, but looking back at it since I read Fallen God, One possibility is that the gods of the higher plane of existence were telling Kratos exactly what to do by marking the spot of the Blades of Chaos with a storm. The other possibility is that this storm might be hinting at a bigger role for the Blades of Chaos during the Battle of Ragnarok. The novelization of the first God of War game mentions how the Blades of Chaos were made from the essence of Chaos itself. This would make the Blades of Chaos one of the most powerful weapons in the God of War universe, maybe even more powerful than the Blade of Olympus, or at least on the same level. But while the God of War 2018 novel is considered 100% canon, the first two are considered secondary canon, which means if they contradict what the games say in any way, they are not to be trusted in those instances. This doesn't contradict the games, but it is adding new information, so I'm really not sure whether this can be trusted. But who knows, maybe Surtur will give the Blades of Chaos a brand new fiery upgrade that allows them to take down even the strongest gods of Asgard. Sorry, that's the best I can do when it comes to a theory. There really isn't much being teased about the blades in the game. But there is something I realized while making this video, and I don't want to hype you guys up in case it doesn't come true, but I'm gonna say it anyway. I believe Sony and Santa Monica Studios want to do something similar to the MCU but with the God of War series. You guys know I've always been a fan of the God of War games, and while the first 6 games in the series tell the story of Kratos really well, they do suffer a little from world building. And maybe that's because they didn't have the story mapped out, so they just added things in the sequels without thinking too much about the implications it could have on the universe. Like the Persians randomly attacking the Greek pantheon. When I finished Chains of Olympus, I kept wondering what had led to this attack on Greece. Was it a conquest? Revenge? My guess is we'll never know, because most likely they just added the Persian invasion because it looked cool as the intro for the game. Again, don't think I don't like the previous God of War games. I'm just seeing a difference in how carefully the story is being made for the new games. The fact that Fallen God made me understand something I didn't get at first in the novel really shows the commitment Santa Monica has to sticking to a plan. An endgame, if you will. Which is why for my next God of War video, I can give you my take on what the Gao you could look like. So if you're interested in seeing me pretend to be a Sony executive, giving you a timeline for the future of the God of War games, make sure to let me know. But getting back to today's video. Let me know in the comment section below if you disagree with my theory of the higher plane of existence cursing the blades. Do you think there are other gods that could possibly curse the blades to follow Kratos? If you do, let me know who and why they did so. I really want to hear your thoughts on it. As always, I want to thank all of my members for supporting the channel monthly. People like Sharon Singh, Stewie1997, and Austin Mason, to name a few, are one of the biggest reasons this channel is still going. YouTube can sometimes be flaky, and some videos simply don't get monetized. It doesn't happen often, but as a content creator it's good to know that I have those fans that come together to make sure the channel can stay alive. I would also like to thank everyone who likes and shares my videos. It doesn't seem like much, but it really does help. So with that said, thanks for watching, and remember, go forth in the name of Ragnarok.